What if the thing holding you back isn't your lack of talent, your lack of money, or your lack of opportunities? What if it's the noise inside your own mind? Every day, thousands of thoughts fight for your attention. Regrets from yesterday. Worries about tomorrow. Opinions from other people. Endless distractions. And while your mind is crowded, your potential remains trapped. But the Stoics discovered a powerful truth centuries ago. A calm mind is an unstoppable mind. Before we begin, make sure you subscribe to Stoic Ascension for more timeless Stoic wisdom. And as you watch, share your thoughts in the comments below. What is the biggest distraction you struggle with every day? Now, let's begin. Imagine a glass of muddy water. If you keep shaking it, the water stays cloudy. You can't see through it. But if you place it down and leave it alone, the dirt slowly settles to the bottom. The water becomes clear. Your mind works the same way. Most people never stop shaking their minds. They constantly feed themselves news, drama, arguments, social media, and endless worries. Then they wonder why they can't think clearly. The Stoics understood that clarity comes from stillness. Not from doing more. Not from thinking more. But from creating space. There is an old story about a young man who traveled across mountains to meet a wise philosopher. The young man complained about his problems for hours. He talked about his failures. He talked about his fears. He talked about people who had wronged him. The philosopher listened quietly. Then he poured tea into a cup. When the cup became full, he kept pouring. Tea spilled over the sides. The young man shouted, "Stop! The cup is already full." The philosopher smiled. And so is your mind. Many people seek wisdom while carrying minds already overflowing with noise. Before you can fill your mind with wisdom, you must clear away what doesn't belong. This is the first lesson of Stoicism. Not every thought deserves your attention. Not every opinion deserves your energy. Not every worry deserves your focus. One of the greatest mistakes people make is believing every thought that enters their minds. A thought appears. Immediately they accept it as truth. I am not good enough. I will fail. People don't respect me. My future is hopeless. But Marcus Aurelius taught that our minds are colored by our thoughts. If your thoughts are constantly negative, your world begins to look negative. If your thoughts are constantly fearful, your world begins to look dangerous. The problem isn't always reality. The problem is often the lens through which you're viewing reality. A Stoic learns to question thoughts instead of obeying them. The next time a negative thought appears, ask yourself, is this true? Is this useful? Is this helping me become stronger? If the answer is no, let it go. Not every thought deserves a seat at your table. Imagine a king holding a meeting. Would he allow every stranger to walk into his throne room and give orders? Of course not. Yet many people allow random thoughts to control their entire lives. A Stoic guards the gate of the mind. Only useful thoughts are allowed to stay. Everything else must leave. Another reason minds become cluttered is because people spend too much time thinking about things they cannot control. This was one of the central teachings of Stoicism. Some things are within your control. Some things are not. You control your actions. You control your effort. You control your attitude. You do not control other people's opinions. You do not control the past. You do not control the weather. You do not control every outcome. Yet countless people waste years fighting battles they can never win. There is a story about a sailor caught in a violent storm. The waves crashed against his boat. The wind screamed through the sky. He could have spent his energy cursing the weather. He could have blamed the ocean. Instead, he focused on the only thing he could control. His sails. His steering. His actions. And because of that, he survived. The storm was never under his control. His response was, "The same is true for you." Every moment spent worrying about what you cannot control is a moment stolen from what you can control. A clear mind begins by letting go of the uncontrollable. Many people are mentally exhausted because they carry the weight of yesterday. They replay old conversations. They relive old mistakes. They revisit old failures. Again and again. As if suffering twice will somehow change the past. But the Stoics understood something powerful. The past is a prison only if you keep returning to it. There is a story of a traveler carrying a heavy bag of rocks. Every mile became harder. Every step became more painful. A stranger asked him why he carried such a burden. The traveler replied, "These rocks remind me of where I stumbled." The stranger said, "But you're carrying the stumbling instead of the lesson." Many people do the same thing. They carry guilt instead of wisdom. They carry regret instead of growth. They carry pain instead of understanding. The Stoic way is different. Learn the lesson. Leave the burden. Move forward. Another enemy of mental clarity is comparison. Today, people spend hours looking at the lives of others. Someone has more money. Someone has more followers. Someone seems happier. Someone appears more successful. And slowly, comparison poisons the mind. The Stoics warned against this. Your journey is your journey. Your path is your path. A tree does not compare itself to another tree. It simply grows. Imagine two runners. One spends the race looking sideways. The other keeps his eyes on the finish line. Who reaches the destination faster? The one focused on his own lane. When you stop comparing yourself to others, your mind becomes lighter. Your energy returns. Your focus sharpens. Your peace grows. The Stoics also understood the importance of solitude. Not loneliness. Solitude. There is a difference. Loneliness is feeling empty when alone. Solitude is feeling complete when alone. Many people fear silence because silence forces them to face themselves. So they constantly seek noise. Music. Television. Social media. Endless distractions. Anything to avoid being alone with their thoughts. But growth happens in silence. Clarity happens in silence. Wisdom happens in silence. Marcus Aurelius wrote many of his reflections alone. Those reflections became some of the most influential Stoic teachings in history. He understood something modern society often forgets. A quiet mind is a powerful mind. Spend a few moments each day in silence. No phone. No distractions. No noise. Just you and your thoughts. You may be surprised by what you discover. Another Stoic practice for clearing the mind is focusing on the present moment. Most people live in two places. The past. Or the future. Very few live in the present. Yet the present is where life actually happens. Imagine a man walking through a beautiful garden. Instead of admiring the flowers around him, he spends the entire time worrying about tomorrow's weather. He leaves the garden without ever seeing its beauty. This is how many people live. They miss today's opportunities because they are trapped in tomorrow's fears. The Stoics taught that the present moment is enough. Handle today's responsibilities. Face today's challenges. Take today's actions. Tomorrow will arrive soon enough. A clear mind is rooted in the present. One day at a time. One step at a time. One breath at a time. Another powerful Stoic lesson is learning to simplify your life. Many minds are cluttered because lives are cluttered. Too many commitments. Too many possessions. Too many distractions. Too many unnecessary problems. The Stoics valued simplicity. Not because they hated success. but because they understood that complexity often steals peace. Imagine carrying 20 bags through an airport. Every step becomes exhausting. Now imagine carrying only one. The journey becomes easier. The same principle applies to life. Remove what isn't necessary. Keep what truly matters. Your mind will thank you. There is also great power in gratitude. A mind focused on what it lacks will never find peace. A mind focused on what it has becomes rich. A Stoic understands that gratitude is not ignoring problems. It is recognizing blessings despite problems. Even during hardship, there is always something to appreciate. Your breath. Your strength. Your ability to learn. Your opportunity to improve. Gratitude clears mental fog. It shifts attention from scarcity to abundance. And where attention goes, energy follows. Another habit that clouds the mind is seeking approval from everyone. This is an impossible mission. No matter what you do, someone will criticize you. No matter how hard you try, someone will misunderstand you. The Stoics accepted this reality. They focused on character instead of approval. Imagine a sculptor creating a masterpiece. If he stopped every few minutes to ask strangers for their opinions, the sculpture would never be finished. Likewise, if you constantly seek validation, your life becomes controlled by others. A Stoic asks a different question. Not, do people approve of me? But, am I living according to my values? That question brings freedom. That freedom brings peace. And peace brings clarity. The strongest minds are not the busiest minds. They are the clearest minds. Think of an archer aiming at a target. If his hands shake wildly, the arrow misses. If he remains calm and steady, the arrow flies true. Your goals require the same calm focus. A scattered mind creates scattered results. A clear mind creates powerful results. This is why Stoicism remains relevant today. The world has changed. Technology has changed. Society has changed. Human nature has not. People still struggle with fear. People still struggle with distraction. People still struggle with anxiety. And the Stoic solution remains timeless. Control what you can. Accept what you cannot. Focus on the present. Guard your thoughts. Embrace silence. Practice gratitude. Live according to your values. The more you practice these principles, the clearer your mind becomes. And something remarkable happens. You stop reacting to everything. You stop chasing every distraction. You stop carrying unnecessary burdens. You become calm. Focused. Intentional. Powerful. Like a mountain standing firm against the wind. Storms may come. Challenges may appear. Life will still test you. But your mind remains steady. And that steadiness becomes your greatest strength. Remember this. A clear mind is not an empty mind. It is a disciplined mind. A mind that knows what deserves attention and what does not. A mind that chooses peace over chaos. A mind that chooses wisdom over impulse. A mind that chooses growth over distraction. That is the Stoic way. And it is available to anyone willing to practice it. The Stoics often compared the mind to a garden. Think about that for a moment. A garden does not become beautiful by accident. If left unattended, weeds begin to grow. Slowly at first. Then everywhere. Before long, the flowers are hidden beneath chaos. Your mind works the same way. Negative habits are weeds. Constant worry is a weed. Jealousy is a weed. Resentment is a weed. Self-doubt is a weed. If you do not remove them, they spread. And eventually they take over. A wise gardener does not complain about weeds. He removes them. A wise Stoic does not complain endlessly about negative thoughts. He replaces them with better ones. Every morning, ask yourself, what thoughts am I planting today? Are they thoughts of courage? Thoughts of discipline? Thoughts of gratitude? Thoughts of growth? Or are they thoughts that weaken me? Because whatever you plant repeatedly will eventually grow. There is a story about two wolves living inside every person. One wolf represents anger, fear, envy, greed, and negativity. The other represents wisdom, courage, kindness, discipline, and peace. A young boy once asked, which wolf wins? The answer was simple. The one you feed. Every day, your attention feeds something. What are you feeding? Many people unknowingly feed fear. They spend hours consuming negative news. They obsess over worst-case scenarios. They imagine disasters that never happen. And then they wonder why their minds feel heavy. The Stoics had a different approach. They prepared for challenges. But they refused to become prisoners of fear. Fear often comes from imagining a future that does not exist. The mind creates stories. The heart believes them. And anxiety follows. But reality is usually much simpler than imagination. Most of the things people worry about never happen. And many of the things that do happen are not nearly as bad as expected. That is why Stoics focused on facts rather than fears. Ask yourself, what is actually happening right now? Not what might happen. Not what could happen. What is happening now? This question has the power to bring you back to reality. And reality is usually much calmer than the stories inside your head. Another powerful Stoic practice is learning to pause. Most mistakes happen because people react too quickly. Someone insults them. They react immediately. Someone disagrees with them. They react immediately. Something goes wrong. They panic immediately. The Stoics understood that between an event and your response, there is a space. And within that space lies your power. Imagine a warrior standing in battle. Arrows fly around him. Chaos surrounds him. Yet he remains calm. Why? Because panic never improves judgment. The same is true in everyday life. The calmer you become, the better your decisions become. A clear mind creates wise actions. A cluttered mind creates regrettable actions. Whenever emotions rise, pause. Take a breath. Observe. Think. Then respond. That simple habit can change your entire life. One day, a student asked a Stoic teacher, how do I find peace? The teacher replied, stop arguing with reality. The student looked confused. The teacher continued, you suffer because you want life to be different from what it is. Think about how much mental energy is wasted resisting reality. People argue with the past. People argue with circumstances. People argue with things they cannot change. And this resistance creates suffering. Acceptance does not mean giving up. Acceptance means seeing reality clearly. Once you accept reality, you can begin working with it. Not against it. A sailor cannot change the wind. But he can adjust his sails. That is Stoic wisdom. Stop fighting reality. Start mastering your response. The clearer your mind becomes, the more you realize that many problems are self-created. Not all. But many. We create problems through overthinking. We create problems through assumptions. We create problems through fear. We create problems through attachment to outcomes. Then we become trapped inside the very cages we built ourselves. The Stoics encourage us to break those cages. One thought at a time. One habit at a time. One decision at a time. There is incredible freedom in simplicity. Imagine waking up each morning without carrying yesterday's anger. Without carrying old regrets. Without carrying unnecessary worries. Imagine facing each day with calm confidence. Not because life is perfect, but because your mind is disciplined. That is the goal. Not a perfect life. A disciplined mind. Because life will always have uncertainty. Challenges will come. People will disappoint you. Plans will fail. Unexpected obstacles will appear. Yet none of these things can destroy a person whose mind remains steady. Marcus Aurelius faced wars, political conflict, betrayal, disease, pressure beyond what most people can imagine. Yet he continually returned to the same principle. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. That lesson remains just as powerful today. Your circumstances may not always be under your control. Your thoughts can be trained. Your reactions can be disciplined. Your character can be strengthened. And when those things improve, your life improves. The world desperately needs people with calm minds. People who think before reacting. People who remain composed under pressure. People who choose wisdom over emotion. People who refuse to be controlled by every distraction. Be one of those people. Be the person who remains calm when others panic. Be the person who remains focused when others become distracted. Be the person who remains disciplined when others give up. Because that is where true power lives. Not in noise. Not in attention. Not in endless activity. But in inner mastery. The next time your mind feels overwhelmed, remember this. You do not need to solve your entire future today. You only need to take the next step. You do not need to carry every burden at once. You only need to carry today's responsibility. You do not need to control everything. You only need to control yourself. And that is enough. In fact, that is more than enough. Because a person who masters themselves has already accomplished something extraordinary. Most people spend their lives trying to control others. Trying to control circumstances. Trying to control outcomes. The Stoic focuses on self-mastery. And through self-mastery, finds freedom. So as you finish this video, take a moment. Breathe deeply. Release the noise. Release the worries. Release the distractions. Release the thoughts that no longer serve you. Let them go. Your mind was never meant to be a storage room for fear. It was meant to be a tool for wisdom. Protect it. Train it. Strengthen it. Clear it. Because the quality of your mind determines the quality of your life. And the clearer your mind becomes, the more powerful your life becomes. If you made it this far, comment "Stillness is strength" below. I read the comments, and I'd love to hear what lesson impacted you the most. Don't forget to share this video with someone who needs more peace, clarity, and discipline in their life. And subscribe to Stoic Ascension for more powerful Stoic teachings that help you build mental strength, emotional control, and lasting wisdom. Until our next journey together. Clear your mind. Guard your thoughts. Master yourself. And rise above the noise. What if I told you that the quality of your life is decided before breakfast? Before the world sends you messages. Before social media tells you who to be. Before problems demand your attention. Your mind has already chosen its direction. Most people wake up and immediately surrender control. They check notifications, react to news, worry about bills, replay old mistakes, and absorb the stress of the world. But the Stoics understood something powerful. The first thoughts of the day become the foundation of the day. If you can program your mind every morning, you can change your life. Before we begin, subscribe to Stoic Ascension for more timeless Stoic wisdom that helps you build discipline, confidence, and inner peace. Now, listen carefully. This message may change the way you start every morning forever. When the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius woke up each morning, he didn't expect life to be easy. He reminded himself that he would meet difficult people. He expected obstacles. He expected challenges. Why? Because preparation creates power. Most people suffer twice. They suffer in reality. Then they suffer again because reality wasn't what they expected. The Stoic prepares the mind before the battle begins. Imagine two men waking up on the same day. The first wakes up expecting everything to go perfectly. The second wakes up expecting challenges but trusting himself to handle them. When problems arrive, the first man panics. The second man remains calm. The difference isn't circumstance. The difference is mindset. Every morning, tell yourself, I may face difficulties today, but I have the strength to overcome them. That single thought can change everything. There was once a young man who complained about his life every day. Traffic annoyed him. Work frustrated him. People disappointed him. Nothing seemed to go his way. One morning, an older mentor asked him a simple question. What are you feeding your mind each morning? The young man laughed. What do you mean? The mentor replied. You carefully choose what food enters your body. Yet you allow fear, negativity, and worry to enter your mind without resistance. That realization changed him. He stopped beginning his mornings with bad news and complaints. Instead, he began each day with gratitude and reflection. Months later, his circumstances hadn't changed much. But his experience of life had transformed completely. Your mind becomes what you repeatedly feed it. Feed it strength. Feed it wisdom. Feed it courage. Feed it discipline. One of the greatest Stoic practices is remembering what you control. Most stress comes from trying to control things that were never yours to control. The weather. Other people. The economy. Opinions. Outcomes. The Stoics taught that peace begins when you separate what is yours from what is not. Every morning, ask yourself, what is within my control today? Your actions. Your attitude. Your effort. Your character. Focus there. A sailor cannot control the wind. But he can control the sail. And often, that is enough. There is a story about a farmer whose horse ran away. The neighbors said, how terrible. The farmer replied, maybe. A few days later, the horse returned with several wild horses. The neighbors said, how wonderful. The farmer replied, maybe. Later, his son fell from one of the horses and broke his leg. Again the neighbors called it terrible. Again the farmer said, maybe. Soon after, soldiers came to recruit young men for war. Because of the injury, the son stayed behind. The lesson? Events themselves are often neutral. Our judgments create suffering. Every morning, remind yourself. I do not know what today will bring, but I will meet it with wisdom. That thought alone can free you from unnecessary anxiety. Most people wake up and immediately think about what they lack. More money. More success. More recognition. More opportunities. The Stoics recommended something different. Gratitude. Not because life is perfect. But because gratitude trains the mind to recognize abundance. A man with gratitude is wealthier than a man with everything who is never satisfied. Each morning, think about 3 things you already have. Your breath. Your ability to learn. The people who care about you. Your opportunities. Your strength. Your second chance. Gratitude changes what you see. And what you see changes how you live. There was once a stone cutter who hated his life. He wished to be rich. Then powerful. Then admired. Then feared. Each time he became what he wanted, he discovered someone stronger. Eventually, he became a mountain. Certain he had finally reached greatness. Then a stone cutter arrived and began shaping the mountain. In that moment, he realized he had been powerful all along. Many people waste years chasing the next thing. The next achievement. The next possession. The next status symbol. Meanwhile, life is happening right now. Program your mind every morning to appreciate the present. Because the present moment is where life exists. The Stoics believe that discipline creates freedom. Most people think freedom means doing whatever you want. The Stoics disagreed. They understood that a person controlled by impulses is not free. A person controlled by laziness is not free. A person controlled by anger is not free. Real freedom comes from self-mastery. Imagine a man who promises himself he will exercise. Morning comes. He doesn't feel like it. Yet he does it anyway. That small victory strengthens his character. Every act of discipline is a vote for the person you want to become. Every morning, remind yourself. My feelings do not control my actions. That is the language of strength. A young athlete once asked his coach, "How do I become exceptional?" The coach pointed toward the empty training field before sunrise. "Meet me there tomorrow." The athlete arrived. The coach was already working. The next day, the same thing happened. And the next. Finally, the athlete understood. Success is often hidden inside ordinary mornings. Not dramatic moments. Not motivation. Not luck. Simple consistency. The world celebrates championships. But championships are built in quiet mornings nobody sees. Program your mind to respect consistency. Small actions repeated daily create extraordinary results. Every morning, remember that time is your most valuable possession. The Stoics frequently reflected on mortality. Not to become fearful, but to become awake. Life is precious because it is limited. Imagine receiving a bank account with $86,400 every morning. At midnight, whatever remains disappears. You would use it carefully. Yet each day you receive 86,400 seconds. Many waste them without thought. The Stoics remind us. You are not guaranteed another day. Use today wisely. Speak kindly. Work diligently. Love deeply. Live fully. There was an old craftsman known throughout his town for his beautiful work. Someone asked him, "What's your secret?" He smiled and said, "When I work, I work. When I eat, I eat. When I rest, I rest." The man laughed. "Everyone does that." The craftsman replied, "No. Most people work while worrying. Eat while thinking. Rest while stressing." The Stoics valued presence. Every morning, train yourself to focus on what is in front of you. Not yesterday. Not tomorrow. Right now. Presence is a superpower in a distracted world. One of the greatest enemies of peace is comparison. Social media has made comparison easier than ever. You see someone's success. Someone's wealth. Someone's relationship. Someone's achievement. And suddenly your own life feels smaller. But comparison steals joy. The Stoics measured success differently. They asked, "Am I becoming a better person than I was yesterday?" That is the only comparison that truly matters. A tree does not compare itself to another tree. It simply grows. Every morning, focus on your path. Your growth. Your journey. Your purpose. A young businessman lost everything during a financial crisis. His company collapsed. His savings disappeared. His friends abandoned him. For months, he felt defeated. Then one morning he remembered a Stoic lesson. You may lose possessions, but you do not lose your character unless you surrender it. He rebuilt slowly. Not because circumstances improved immediately. but because his mindset improved first. Years later, he became more successful than before. The real victory wasn't financial. It was mental. Never forget. Your greatest asset is your mind. Protect it. Train it. Strengthen it. Every single day. The Stoics understood the power of silence. Not every opinion deserves a response. Not every insult deserves attention. Not every battle deserves your energy. Imagine carrying a backpack. Each argument adds another stone. Each grudge adds another stone. Each resentment adds another stone. Soon the load becomes unbearable. The wise person learns to put unnecessary stones down. Every morning, remind yourself. I will conserve my energy for what truly matters. That decision can save years of stress. There is a Japanese story about a master and his student. One day, the student complained about an insult. The master placed a cup of muddy water on a table. Then he waited. Minutes passed. The dirt settled. The water became clear. The master smiled. The mind works the same way. Not every problem requires action. Sometimes clarity arrives through stillness. Every morning, give your mind a few moments of silence. No phone. No noise. No distractions. Just stillness. That is where wisdom grows. Many people wait to feel confident before taking action. The Stoics taught the opposite. Action creates confidence. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is moving forward despite fear. A young woman dreamed of starting a business. For years she waited. She wanted certainty. Perfect timing. Complete confidence. None arrived. Finally, she acted anyway. Step by step. Mistake by mistake. Success followed. Not because fear disappeared, but because action became stronger than fear. Every morning, ask yourself, what important action can I take today? Then take it. Remember this. Your mind is like a garden. If you do nothing, weeds grow naturally. Fear. Doubt. Anger. Excuses. Negativity. But if you cultivate the garden daily, something beautiful appears. Strength. Peace. Discipline. Wisdom. Purpose. The quality of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts. And the quality of your thoughts depends on what you repeatedly practice. That is why mornings matter. They set the tone for everything that follows. As we come to the end of this message, remember these simple Stoic truths. Prepare your mind before the world influences it. Focus on what you control. Practice gratitude. Choose discipline over comfort. Protect your time. Stay present. Avoid comparison. Act despite fear. Value silence. Train your mind every single morning. Because your future is not created in one dramatic moment. It is created through thousands of ordinary mornings. The life you want begins with the thoughts you choose when you wake up. Tomorrow morning, before touching your phone. Before checking messages. Before worrying about problems. Take a moment. Breathe. Remember who you are. Remember what matters. Remember that your mind is your greatest power. Program it wisely. And watch your life transform. Before you sleep tonight, think about this question. Who is controlling your mind? Is it you? Or is it fear? Is it discipline? Or is it distraction? Is it purpose? Or is it the endless noise of the world? Most people spend their entire lives reacting. Reacting to criticism. Reacting to circumstances. Reacting to bad news. Reacting to other people's opinions. They become passengers in their own lives. The Stoics refused to live that way. They chose to become captains of their minds. And that choice changed everything. The beautiful thing is that you can make the same choice. Not next year. Not next month. Not when life becomes easier. Tomorrow morning. The moment your eyes open. That moment matters more than you think. Because every day is a new beginning. Every sunrise gives you another opportunity to strengthen your character. Another opportunity to become wiser. Another opportunity to become calmer. Another opportunity to become the person you were meant to be. The past is gone. You cannot change it. The future has not arrived. You cannot control it. But today. Today belongs to you. And what you do with today will shape tomorrow. There is a story about an old Stoic teacher who was approached by a student. The student asked, "Master, what is the secret to a great life?" The teacher smiled and led him to a river. They stood quietly beside the flowing water. After several minutes, the student became impatient. "Why are we standing here?" he asked. The teacher pointed at the river. "Do you see how the water keeps moving?" The student nodded. It does not stop because of rocks. It does not turn back because of obstacles. It simply finds another path. The teacher looked at the student and said, "Live like the river. Obstacles will come. People will disappoint you. Plans will fail. Unexpected challenges will appear. But keep moving. Keep learning. Keep growing. Keep flowing forward." That is the Stoic way. Many people believe happiness comes from achieving something. The perfect job. The perfect body. The perfect relationship. The perfect bank account. But the Stoics understood that happiness comes from becoming someone. Someone resilient. Someone disciplined. Someone grateful. Someone who remains steady when life becomes difficult. Imagine two houses. One is built on sand. The other is built on stone. When the storm arrives, the house on sand collapses. The house on stone remains standing. Life will bring storms to everyone. No one escapes them. The question is, what foundation are you building? Every morning you choose. With every thought, you choose. With every action, you choose. With every habit, you choose. Are you building on sand? Or are you building on stone? The Stoics spent their lives building strong foundations. That is why their wisdom has survived for thousands of years. Empires have fallen. Kings have disappeared. Entire civilizations have changed. Yet the lessons of Stoicism remain. Why? Because human nature remains the same. People still struggle with fear. People still struggle with anger. People still struggle with doubt. People still search for peace. And the Stoics still offer answers. One morning ritual can completely transform your life. Before you leave your bed, repeat these words. I control my thoughts. I control my actions. I control my attitude. I will not be ruled by fear. I will not be ruled by excuses. I will face today with courage. I will face today with gratitude. I will face today with wisdom. Simple words. Powerful impact. Because repeated thoughts become beliefs. Repeated beliefs become actions. Repeated actions become habits. Repeated habits become character. And character becomes destiny. Never underestimate the power of what you repeatedly tell yourself. A negative mind can turn opportunities into problems. A disciplined mind can turn problems into opportunities. The difference is not luck. The difference is mental training. Just as muscles become stronger through exercise, the mind becomes stronger through practice. Not once. Not occasionally. Every day. Every morning. A blacksmith shapes steel through repeated strikes. One strike is not enough. Neither are 10. But over time, the steel changes. The same is true for your mind. Every act of discipline shapes it. Every moment of patience shapes it. Every choice to remain calm shapes it. Every decision to keep moving forward shapes it. Years from now, people may look at your confidence and think you were born that way. They will see your calmness and assume it came naturally. They will admire your strength without seeing the countless mornings that built it. But you will know the truth. You will know that greatness was created one day at a time. One thought at a time. One morning at a time. So tomorrow, when you wake up, do not rush. Do not immediately surrender your attention. Protect those first moments. Guard them carefully. Fill your mind with wisdom before the world fills it with noise. Fill your mind with purpose before the world fills it with distraction. Fill your mind with courage before the world fills it with fear. Because the way you begin your morning often determines the way you experience your day. And the way you experience your days eventually becomes the way you experience your life. Your mind is listening. Every day. Every hour. Every minute. The question is, what are you teaching it? Teach it resilience. Teach it patience. Teach it discipline. Teach it gratitude. Teach it courage. Teach it peace. And over time, those lessons will become part of who you are. This is the power of Stoicism. This is the power of self-mastery. This is the power of programming your mind every morning. And if you practice it consistently, your life will never be the same. And before you leave, carry this final lesson with you. A bow and arrow teach us something important about life. Before an arrow can move forward, it must first be pulled backward. Many people see setbacks and assume they are failing. The Stoics saw them differently. They understood that sometimes life pulls you back so you can move forward with greater force. Maybe you're going through a difficult season right now. Maybe your plans haven't worked out. Maybe you've been rejected. Maybe you've lost something important. Maybe you're tired of struggling. If that's where you are today, remember this. A difficult chapter is not the end of the story. The Stoics believe that adversity reveals character. Anyone can remain calm when everything is easy. Anyone can be positive when everything is working out. But true strength appears during hardship. There is an old story about a young man who constantly complained about his problems. One day, his grandfather handed him a potato, an egg, and a handful of coffee beans. He placed all three into boiling water. After some time, he removed them. The potato had become soft. The egg had become hard. But the coffee beans had changed the water itself. The grandfather asked, "Which one will you be?" Challenges affect everyone. But they do not affect everyone in the same way. Some become weaker. Some become bitter. Some transform their circumstances. The obstacle is not what defines you. Your response does. That is one of the greatest lessons Stoicism can teach. Every morning, life asks you a question. Who will you be today? Will you be controlled by emotions? Or guided by wisdom? Will you choose comfort? Or growth? Will you complain? Or improve? Will you blame others? Or take responsibility? Your answers shape your future. Not once. Not occasionally. Every single day. A powerful life is rarely built through giant leaps. It is built through small decisions repeated consistently. The decision to wake up with purpose. The decision to remain calm. The decision to stay disciplined. The decision to keep learning. The decision to continue when quitting feels easier. Most people underestimate what they can achieve in 5 years. Because they overestimate what they can achieve in one day. The Stoics understood patience. They knew that greatness grows slowly. Like a tree. A tree does not become tall overnight. It grows quietly. Day after day. Season after season. Year after year. At first, nobody notices. Then one day, everyone sees its strength. Your growth works the same way. Keep showing up. Keep planting good thoughts. Keep building strong habits. Keep strengthening your character. The results will come. And when they do, they will be built on something solid. Not luck. Not chance. Not temporary motivation. But discipline. There will be mornings when you don't feel motivated. Wake up anyway. There will be mornings when you feel discouraged. Move forward anyway. There will be mornings when doubt whispers in your ear. Act anyway. Because motivation is unreliable. Discipline is dependable. The Stoics never waited for perfect feelings. They focused on right actions. And right actions repeated over time created extraordinary lives. Imagine meeting yourself 10 years from now. The future version of you is standing before you. Stronger. Wiser. Calmer. More confident. More disciplined. What would that future version say to you today? Perhaps something like this. Thank you for not giving up. Thank you for staying consistent. Thank you for believing when results were invisible. Thank you for choosing growth over comfort. The person you become tomorrow is created by the choices you make today. That future version of yourself is depending on you. Give them a reason to be grateful. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, your mind takes the shape of what it frequently holds. So hold thoughts that make you stronger. Hold thoughts that make you wiser. Hold thoughts that help you serve others. Hold thoughts that move you closer to your purpose. And every morning, before the world has a chance to shape your mind, shape it yourself. Choose your thoughts carefully. Choose your attitude carefully. Choose your focus carefully. Because your life follows your attention. Where attention goes, energy flows. And where energy flows, results grow. One day, you'll look back and realize that your transformation didn't begin with a major breakthrough. It began with a morning. A simple morning. A quiet decision. A commitment to think differently. A commitment to live differently. A commitment to become stronger. That is how great lives are built. One sunrise at a time. One thought at a time. One choice at a time. Thank you for spending these moments with me. If this message brought value to your life, write "I control my mind" in the comments below. Let's build a community of disciplined, resilient, and powerful individuals together. And if you haven't already, subscribe to Stoic Ascension for more timeless Stoic wisdom, practical life lessons, and powerful mindset transformations. Remember, your circumstances do not define you. Your past does not define you. Other people's opinions do not define you. Your choices define you. Control your mind. Master your habits. Strengthen your character. And continue your journey toward greatness. Stay disciplined. Stay focused. Stay stoic. Keep ascending.